there's a better Philippines that we could look forward to.
So if we're thinking of growing this country, we have to make sure that first, this country should be built by people with dignity. And you can never build that with this kind of setup today.
This show is brought to you by NAIA Advertising Corporation, Davies, Landlight, and Rockwool Philippines. And thank you to the brand partners that make this show happen.
Freedom has a color. It lives in the seas that surround us, the skies that open our future, and the dreams that carry us forward. In 2026, Davies unveils a color that unites calm with energy, heritage with innovation, and the Filipino spirit with the world. Malaya Teal, the color of freedom.
This is part 2 of our interview with Royal Pineda. If you haven't seen it yet, check out part 1 on the Build Boss PH Facebook page.
Do you think the branding that Royal Pineda Plus right now helps a lot? Because I remember when you did the rebrand or the launch of Royal Pineda, you're also advocating about sustainability, that practical luxury. Maybe you could expound more on that practical luxury. What do you mean by practical luxury?
First, I'd like to answer about the brand.
Yeah.
The brand is just basically a summary of you. You just want to encapsulate the you. Mm-hmm. That's why you want to simplify and you want to put a quick image of who you are. And I just thought that, the thing that can carry my brand is my name. And just to simplify that, I cannot do it alone. I have to put a plus because I cannot do the vision alone. Modern Philippines cannot be done by a single person. I can picture what I see as modern Philippines, but I cannot achieve that alone. I need to collaborate. So I need a plus. So the plus became the brand together, and that somehow is a manifestation of my posture, my intention, and my welcoming to any idea, to any person who wants to bring the modern Philippines forward. So it becomes an end result. There will be no brand if there's nothing to put it together. So I think that's what makes the brand clear, is because I have a very clear meaning to it. And that brings it to the modern Philippines, which is meaning a better Philippines. It's never a period of design. Kasi as architects, we know We know modernism. We know the brutalism, those eras of the designs. But it's not about that. It's really about the mindset. When I say modern, it's better. So better Philippines. And then I needed to coin practical luxury, as you said, because people ask me, Royal, if you want to bring it to a modern Philippines, we're not first world. But usually modernity is anchored to heavy technology, innovation, and so on and so forth. But my point is, innovation starts from the very root of the mind. So before the mechanisms happen, the mind should first trigger the innovation. So I started changing the mind. So I keep saying modern Philippines. You want to be a modern Filipino? Just come earlier on, based on time. Take out the Filipino always late. You're right away a modern Filipino. So practical luxury became a tool. I needed to coin it because I want to empower every Filipino to say and to believe that I can live in luxury by design. Otherwise, when you start believing that luxury is only for the high end, you start to see yourself always as inferior. I want to democratize design, and I want to give every Filipino the right to ask for good design.
It's a good opportunity. I look at it as an opportunity, a wake-up call, no?
Yes.
So I think the government's stepping up. They're involving professionals.
Yes.
The collaboration is a key. Making sure that the collaboration from the government side, private sector, to the professionals, hindi maging successful isang project if the user or the common people is not helping out as well. Each and every one of us has contribution to do.
Yes.
We have to do our part. If we wanted to change, let's do our part. Yeah. Small things, no?
Yeah.
People sometimes they don't mind, no? So simply not following rules, di ba? Regulations. I mean, those things, small things lang, and magkaroon ng better Filipino. Sabi mo nga kanina, Filipino time. Happy-happy lang tayo. Alam ng Filipino time, acceptable. But other countries cannot. No, that's what my mentor before, Architect Gilbert, told me. Ang call time mo 9 o'clock, 8:45 should be there. You should be early. Yeah. You have time to prepare, immerse yourself. Yeah. Diba? Hindi yung pupunta ka doon hahabol-habol ka meeting mo And that would change everything. Yes. And you have the respect na nakukuha that we will be able to deserve, diba?
I'd like to add to that, and that brings me back to Kamuning. The Mount Kamuning.
Ano ba yung Mount Kamuning na yan? For those people, baka they don't know about what is Mount Kamuning.
Mount Kamuning is, if you Google it, you can see it like, it's not a mountain to climb, but it's like a hill to climb. But it's really in Quezon City, it's part of that overpass was built, but it's really too tall. It's too high. It's not friendly to the commuters, to the pedestrians.
Do people use it talaga?
Well, they do. Out of desperation. Out of desperation yun. Parang kailangan nila makalipat But it's really a struggle, and it's not safe because, wow, you fall from the top to down. I mean, that's a serious...
Malapit yung sa electrical, no?
Oo. And I'm happy that with the conversations and discussion with DOTR, that time it was Secretary Vince sa DOTR. We discussed, they consulted, and I said, there's really nothing to fix there. Because they were asking me to design and make it,
Beautiful Mount Kamuning.
I said, there's nothing to fix. There's really nothing to fix there. It needs to be taken down. And I was happy that they agreed also, but take it down after building a better one with a better location because...
But curious lang ako, Royal. Alam mo na kaagad anong solusyon?
You know why? I was telling this to the secretary. And I said, you don't need me in the walkthrough. I don't need to see it. Because I've been seeing the problem every time I go to EDSA. And this is, for me, I think as architects, we should all be able to relate, no? Every time we ride our cars or travel or go around, I speak for myself this time. When I see things and I see ugliness, I see chaos. I like seeing them because they're my puzzles. Every time I see them, my mind starts to play. And though it's not the moment that I can solve it, I have a file in my head. And so that's very true that when I was called by Malacanang and they said, we would like to walk and see the Mount Kamuning. I said, you don't need me there. Just take it down. Because I already see it. I already know the problem. But let's all discuss and let's decide what's going to be good with. But my advice is to take it down, put it somewhere where it works, because it makes sense that it's all about the elevation. It's not about the design of the... even if I put the most beautiful railing there, it will not do the job. So my point is, architects, designers, Filipinos, we cannot be passive. We have to be aware of what's around us and spot all the good and bad, not just the good, and not just to criticize the bad, but to also give that spirit to solve the bad.
Hearing from you, I would say normal pala ang sa akin na when you drive in EDSA, no? Or nakipapansin mo na parang sinasabi mong puzzle. Ako normally, when I see EDSA, pag traffic, titignan ko yung mga structures. Ano pwede kong gawin doon sa structure? Ang gandang pagandahin to. Dito, ang ganda ng canopy. Oh. Especially those old structures. Yeah. That's a full potential. Yeah. No? And especially when you across Cubao area, ang dami kasing lumang mga shop houses dyan eh. Ang sarap pagandahin eh. Ang sarap gawing pedestrianize. Yeah. No? So those things umiikot sa mind ko habang so hindi ako nabobore sa traffic, no? Instead of me doing messages and everything, sometimes those nga sabi mo nalalagay sa mind mo. Nagpunta sa file mo, eventually that becomes an inspiration for your project.
And the right time will come. Look, all of a sudden they need help. And why not keep it? Might as well share it.
Is it that hard when you started again? I mean, doing your own thing. Is it easy ngayon na it's me na lang? I mean, ako na lang to. I could do whatever designs I want. I would be able to do I don't have any more may partners ka or may before. But right now, Royal Pineda Plus, although may collaborator ka na, but you're the head right now. Is there a difference?
There's a difference, definitely. But I always see it like nature. Like, I'm a naturalist, and that's why my philosophy is nature is peace. That's my anchor, di ba? So, I refer to nature when I say that. It's like, I feel that I'm growing. And from the beginning, as a student, as an architect, parang we are all designed to grow. And that's critical because we have to understand that when you grow, you really, first, as you grow, you actually really have to leave the zone. There's a space. You leave the space because you start growing. So there are things that you really need to live because you need to be, again, taller and taller and taller because you are thinking of being and reaching your potential. You have to reach the point that you start to bear fruits. And while you're not feeling that, you have to keep moving forward because you feel and you understand that you haven't reached the potential. So my point is, when me and Buji were together, we were like left and right foot. We were just having a good time, enjoying what we've been doing. Modern Filipino with a collaboration that we were doing for interiors and design. But it needed to reach a point that I need to go to a bigger thing, which is nation building. And with that, I need to be more of a planner, an architectural approach in terms of bigger things. And again, I think the art of working with private and government needed more time for me personally to be in touch with them, because doing private homes and all is good, private practice is good, but I think it's the bigger dream that I'm seeing, which is again nation building. And I think with that and with this Royal Pineda Plus, I was able to open it up to as many collaborators.
Yun, I mean, speaking about good design, speaking about modern Philippines, speaking about better Philippines, you're in the news, Royal, for the past months, no?
Thankfully,
You have been, yeah, it's good news that you have been part in collaborating with our government, no? I think you've done some works for the Pasig City Hall through Mayor Vico and the City Hall of Lipa. And recently, you've been working with yung mga pedestrian walkways, busways, no? And that really would have an effect on, I mean, you have been reaching out with the common Filipino. I've been able to see it sa social media. I mean, common Filipino would understand, may reason, mayroon palang solusyon ang Mount Kamuning natin. I mean, that solution is like a band-aid solution eh. But once the architect or the professionals or the creative industry understand the process, the operation, doon tayo na-hire eh. Tama din, Royal? So, maybe take us to your journey naman, collaborating with the government projects.
Yeah.
Well, how did it start? I mean, how is your relationship? How did your relationship start with the government?
It really started when the NAIA 1 needed a real renovation. But just to relate to the timeline, NAIA 1 renovation happened because we just wanted to really fix the gateway. Because that time, collaborating with the government, and this was Pnoy's time, they wanted to invite more tourists. And being the architect in the group, talking to the business sector, we were invited, me, Kenneth, and Buji on the creatives and some other creatives, and then the business sector, the government. The thing that really floated was tourism. The Sobels Ayala presented the study of the Asian countries similar to us were all parang pointing towards tourism. So it was making sense that Philippines should also work on tourism because we have the edge, especially with hospitality. So that time, it was Bertie Lim who was the Secretary for Tourism. And that time, I think what's good is it's clear if we want tourism. I was asked, so Royal, as an architect, what do you think? So that's where architecture also comes in, because you start to understand the dynamics of what's the lifestyle you're trying to understand, what's the lifestyle that we're trying to build, what's the identity that we're trying to express. So I said, it's like this. When we want to invite and have a party in the house, and we cannot fix the living room, there's nothing to fix in the living room. As of now, everything is just a lot of things to do. At least fix the gate. And I said, can we fix the airport? Because that's the first impression.
True.
That was not the project. The project was how do we bring the country to the next level? It only gave birth because of there is a need to achieve tourism. And that's how architecture now can support the vision of the country. It needs an airport that needs to be fixed. So it was an instant thing. So we did that. And that opened up, the whole controversy and so on. If you check the history back that time, it was also controversial. Doing projects with the government can be controversial.
At least that gives us an excitement Will to look forward to something. Kasi we could see some images, no, in social media na, oh, there's a chance. Kasi, I mean, I agree with you, Royal, that yan yung, yan yung gateway mo. That's the first line na makikita ng mga tourists. First line yung feeling mo pag-uwi ka or darating, ito ba yung Pilipinas?
Right.
So every time you go down, di ba yung airplane when it's touching down, titignan mo ano ba yung scenario, ano ba yung environment ng country that reflects. Sad part ng sa atin talaga, when you go down talaga, hindi ganun kagandahan nakikita mo.
But you have to, again, as you said, it started to bring hope. Because as architects, I think that's the good thing. No? As architects, we envision. But we have to share the vision. Because we cannot just be the one who can see it. Otherwise, nobody will help. It's like pre-selling. Like developers. Developers starts to present a master plan. Renders. And then they start to have people buying in. We need, as a country, to have a plan of this nation.
Yeah, that's what I like with you. Yung when you say share the vision. Similarly, kasi not all architects would have the chance to work with the government. If you will be able to work with the government, do you have a say? On your part, we're lucky. Nakikinig sila sa'yo, Royal. So I think, I mean, you could influence, you could be able to convince the proponent na take the risk or take this chance to improve, to have the better Philippines by getting an architect to share those creative side and to give, kasi they thought just plan. They didn't realize we look overall, di ba, as an architect. Titignan natin overall eh.
But you were discussing this, I mean, we were discussing it offline kanina, no? But we were talking about, architecture being a business. Because that's why it's an art and science. It needs to have calculations. It needs to have the math together. And again, if your vision is not designed to be successful in terms of all the elements that's required, I mean, it cannot just be beautiful. It cannot just be experiential. But what and how will it sustain as a business, as a building, as a structure? And again, if one is missing, then it doesn't make sense. So the only reason why they listen is because I have to present to them the success of the project. That I'm not just giving you the A. I have to give you the vision from A to Z.
Yeah.
So I think whenever I present it, like even with the mayor, with Vico, when I showed it to Vico, I was just sketching. I was even saying, I'm not going to present any renderings. I just want to have a meeting and discuss it. And just give me a board. And from that, I just sketch my vision.
Now I understand. When you say A to Z, that equates to sustainability. No, I mean everything that you do as an architect, making sure na it's not only the design, but how the project would operate and how it will be easy to be handled by the proponent. Yeah. I think that's your success story. Nakwento mo yung storyline of your design. And talking about that, I am really glad, no, itong, I mean, going back to the previously yung ating mga, what do you call that, skywalk? What do you call that?
The overpass. Like
overpass. Overpass tawag yan. Pero anong magandang word dati doon? What do you call them?
I call it really stride, no? I call it stride because stride is like walking positively. So I called it stride because I wanted to brand the system. It's not a utility. Anything that you put should start building the nation. So there's really no such thing as small item. That even a trash bin should be well designed to present the identity of a Filipino. Wala kang pwedeng sabihin, that does not matter. Everything matters. So when we were asked to design this with SM first for the private sector, I called it stride. Let's not call it overpass. Let's not call it same thing. You're saying overpass, parang pedestrianization, But sa akin, I want to see it in a more optimistic way. That when I say stride, I walk with dignity. I walk with the future in my hand and saying, I can have this, I can do this. So every time I try to bring stride to all the places in the country, I know that it will better the country.
Yun yung maganda sa'yo eh. I mean, what's nice with your philosophy is yung changes or yung ano natin, because Filipino culture eh, pag sinabi natin the same tagline or same overpass, wala naman nagbago dyan. Pag sinabi mo the stride or skywalk, you rebranded it, and the thing, it's a new hope eh. Bagong pag-asa eh. Mindset. It's the mindset of Filipino. That's the culture. Today's discussion, today's kwentuhan natin, Royal, you said nation building. I mean, what's next with Royal Pineda?
This show is brought to you by Cine Haraya Advertising Corporation, Davies, Landlight, and Rockwool Philippines. And thank you to the brand partners that make this show happen.
Freedom has a color. It lives in the seas that surround us, the skies that open our future, and the dreams that carry us forward. In 2026, Davies unveils a color that unites calm with energy, heritage with innovation, and the Filipino spirit with the world. Malaya Teal, the color of freedom.
I mean, what's next with Royal Pineda?
You know, I'm organic. I see every day as another growth and another opportunity. And if you're asking me what's next, I just see what I see from the horizon, which is, again, I'd like to redeem the industry of infrastructure, construction, design. And when I say redeem that, you see what's happening. There is national issue of corruption. And what's really bad is that when people start to say, you're working with the government, you're corrupt. You're a contractor of the government, you're corrupt. It's also unfair. Because if we're thinking of growing this country, we have to make sure that first, this country should be built by people with dignity. And you can never build that with this kind of setup today. So how? And I'm so thankful that we have a host now, Vico, who's, we're doing Pasig City Hall. And this is very organic. It was never part of the plan. You ask me, did I even imagine myself being here? Wherever you think I am, I just feel that I'm just enjoying it, no? Pero, I'm just very lucky and God's grace, no? This is not based on what I've done. This is all God's grace. It's really just being given to me. I feel that the task is, as we collaborate, as we all try to define our identity as people, we start to change the mind and the spirit of every Filipino to lead us all to love our own country. And once you love this country, you will never do what's happening now.
With that, we like to thank you, Royal, for having us invited you or for allowing us to be part of this this episode as a Build Boss PH. And I hope that it will not be the last. And I hope that this show could motivate, inspire, no? And narinig natin simple things na I think nobody asked. Yung kanyang medyas, kanyang buhok. Ako lang magtanong niyan.
Para malamig.
And before we end, we'd like to thank our venue, our sponsor for the venue, Living Innovations. Try to visit them in Mandaluyong and also Acods Cafe. And syempre, this show would this been produced by Cine Haraya with Chino and Hannah. Thank you very much for having us. And it was a pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
It's interesting, a lot of major takeaways. Sabi ko nga, after this episode, after this discussion, Royal, sabi nga, may baon tayo. We will continue to be inspired, continue to grow, and continue to improve, and what we could contribute sa architectural profession and sa creative industry. Maraming salamat, Royal.
Thank you also. Salamat.
Build Boss PH is produced by Sinharaya Advertising Corporation. Don't forget to like and follow our page for more interviews, podcasts, and features with the industry's best.